In March 2018, we opened our doors to the public with a vision not just to create challenging professional theatre, but to use this as a platform to inspire and bring communities together. Theatre and culture build identity. With theatre and culture in our local life, the community landscape is more vibrant. Local life is enriched. We believe that the benefits of theatre should be available for everyone. Our Theatre for All programme has removed financial barriers, giving disadvantaged people access to the theatre free of charge.
So we were told that we'd come here and have a Christmas meal and then go and watch A Christmas Carol.
Our aim is to make live professional theatre available to everyone and use that experience for positive change. Theatre can be transformational in young lives. Our academy is now in its 4th year, and we continue to build on our vision of bringing the best performing arts tuition to the heart of the Cotswolds. We work hard to make our academy as inclusive and as accessible as possible. Discounts apply for parents with more than one child. Our bursaries help support talented children from less affluent backgrounds. The Academy creates a fun and challenging environment where children can build friendships and develop key skills not just for theatre, but for life. We are also able to provide real opportunities for students who wish to pursue careers in the arts.
My name is Harry Apps. I am currently playing Marius in Les Miserables in the West End.
Barn outreach and learning programs engage with thousands of people. Our free workshops support the drama curriculum in local schools. Singing and musical theatre workshops in community groups and care homes have helped address issues of isolation. Our Song for Cirencester project in aid of mental health charities brought our community together in an unprecedented way. We've collaborated with many charities in the region, including the Churn Project, to support individuals dealing with the barriers to finding work.
Since working with you, my life's changed. It's given me some purpose, given me an interest, some confidence I was lacking prior to all this.
The Barn Theatre played a pivotal role in the town's 2018 World War I centenary celebrations. Who could forget our record-breaking Human Poppy? Our live streaming work on the annual Advent Festival helped thousands engage and take part in Cirencester's Christmas festivities. In these times of uncertainty, we strive to keep the community together. The theatre may be temporarily closed, but our commitment to you goes on. Even now, our amazing costume department are helping the NHS by making scrubs for frontline workers. We've used our technology to build a free live streaming service that provides much needed community news and entertainment for all the family. Broadcasting every day to keep us all connected. We are not just a theatre. We are the Barn.
Well, a little bit of excitement on the run this morning. I'm out trotting around the fields and came across one of the gates which is normally shut, and it was open. I thought, that's a bit weird. And then there's some cow poo everywhere. Trot on a bit further, come around the corner, and you're like, whoa, what see diddly didos? You chaps aren't supposed to be here. A whole herd of cows and their calves. Quite aggressive wee so-and-sos as well. Surrounded me, surrounded poor Oaty. Oates didn't like it at all. Anyway, so I cut the run short, hoofed it back. Quick telephone call to the farmer, who I believe is off to try and sort it all out at the moment. So yeah, run cut a little bit short, but not too bad. Still about 8k done. So that's a good start to the day. And just remember, we're in it together. And I've got it done this morning, so I want to hear what you're doing to get it done this Wednesday. Monday morning, start of another week. Hell yeah! That was a fabulous run this morning. Now, it's Monday. Are you battle ready for the week? That's what Nims would say. And one of the things that I do to help to get ready for the week is I give my thoughts a voice, and I simply write them down. I give myself 20 minutes, half an hour over a cup of coffee on a Monday morning, and I write a plan for the week. I get them out of here and I make them more powerful by writing them down. And then I have that list, that plan above my desk, just poof, there. And I keep referring to it all the time. And in that plan, it's not hour by hour, it's a simple breakdown of what I would like to achieve. And that keeps me focused for the week. So it's Monday, it's really important to make this week count. Don't forget, we're in it together. So let's get it done, shall we? Woo, that's the run done. Pretty windy out there this morning. That was hard. Not the run, but the motivation to get out the front door and to get it done. Lying in bed just thinking, oh, you know what, I'm going to skip today. Let's give it a miss. Get up and have breakfast with the children. But no, really important. I got up, I got out, and I got it done. And it wasn't the fastest run ever, but it's going to set me up for the day. Because for me, if I start to skip things, that very quickly progresses to skipping 2 days or 3 days, and then I drop out the habit. So for me, really, really important that I just keep it going as often as I can, to be involved and to be present. So remember, we're in it together and we got it done. Oh, the wheels fell off on that one. Don't know why. Got about 5k in. Boff, no energy. Wheels, oh, totally bonked. Pretty much crawled my way home over the last 3 or 4k. Mixture of running and walking. But yeah, that's okay. I don't really care. I'm in the great outdoors. That's fab. And go home, grab myself a smoothie or something like that, get some energy back in and evaluate what happened. And that's the key thing. Find out why it happened and don't let it happen again. But hey, we're still here, still sane, still strong. In it together. Whoa, energized. That was a great run. And still pumped, still buzzing after last night's cool conversations. If you didn't see it, swipe up for the link. And you know, lots of stuff that our special guest Nims was talking about. And one thing that I really picked out of it is when he was talking about his fitness. His fitness is something he doesn't even consider. He literally slips it in his pocket and pulls it out when he needs it. And that made me think. And that's talking about controlling the controllables. And by doing so, and doing so well, it leaves us enough bandwidth to take care of those uncontrollables that come flying in when we least expect it. And that's a really good professional and personal learning there. Control the controllables. Have it so you can slip it in and out of your pocket. That portable solution. So that's the key learning. We're in it together. Thanks, Nims. So hell yeah! Definite hell yeah day. And you know why? Well, a couple of reasons why. Firstly, that run has really lifted me. I mean, properly lifted me. Bit of a funk after yesterday afternoon. That has filled me with joy. And secondly, it's Thursday. And you know what that means? That means tonight, 1800 British summertime, cool conversations again. Super pumped by this one. Got a special guest, our first ever guest, Nims Dye. So we're going to be talking about his project Possible last year, what his plans for the future are, and what he's doing during lockdown. The guy's a bit of an inspiration. So cool conversations. Check it out on the Barn Theatre and on my own social media channels. In it together.
My mate Kenton has done some extraordinary things in his life, and he's pretty hilarious as well.
We're going to talk about climbing, we're going to talk about sports, hot topics, and we're going to merge all that together for an entertaining 30 minutes. Wow, it's Thursday, it's 6 o'clock, it's got to be time for Cool Conversations. Now, we've taken a slightly different slant this week because Ewan can't be bothered to be here with me, but doesn't really matter. I got a much better person to co-present with me. And at some stage in the next few minutes, my good buddy, my real buddy, unlike Ewan, is going to come on and help me with the show. But firstly, I just want to make sure, how's everybody doing? It's another week of lockdown, but that doesn't matter. It's about being positive. We're in it together. And that's how we're going to get through things. Now, the special guest tonight is somebody I'm super fond of. He is the face of SAS, Who Dares Wins. He's Mr. Adventure himself, none other than my buddy, Ant Middleton. So, if technology is working, Ant, have we got you?
I am here, correct and present.
How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
How you doing, Kenton?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Chief. Awesome.
You too, you too.
I noticed that you've done the buzz cut.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. All of my children have got it.
No.
You know what? The reason why I've done it is because I went to give my 10-year-old son a haircut, and I absolutely bodged it up. So I had to shave his head off, and I thought it was only fair to shave mine. And then my 3-year-old son was like looking at us too, so I grabbed hold of him and quickly shaved his hair. So we're all good to go now, mate.
I tell you, I'm going to have to do something with mine. It's getting a bit out of control. But I mean, so
more aerodynamic up the mountain, mate.
Is that what? Is that what it is? Maybe that's what Nims did. You know, our mutual friend.
Yeah,
we had
exactly.
Nims on last week.
I think so.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
what a
great
legend
guy.
that boy is.
Great boy.
Yeah, no, super.
Friend as
Now,
well.
I don't know. We're not going to touch upon your special forces thing too much. But were you in the SF with him, or how did that cross paths? How do you know Nims?
Yeah, I was in the I was in the special boat service with Nims. Nims passed selection, I think, 2 years after me, or a year after me, or something like that. It was a couple of courses after, and I just clicked with Nims from day one. You know, there was a bit of a language barrier there because Nims was still learning, and obviously the learning curve in the special forces is like that. So I like to think that I took him under my wing a bit, and just made him feel comfortable within the squadron and within the organisation. But me and Nims are very, very close friends, and we still are. I had to chat to him last night.
Oh, did you?
And we still are to this very day.
Did you get any tips about how to handle cool conversations?
Listen, I've said that I've already been up Everest with Kenton. I know the score. But no, we were just chatting about family life. He's got a new book coming out.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks really cool.
Yeah, no, he's. So I'm just giving him tips. It's strange because, obviously in the media, in the literacy world, I'm sort of out there. So it's nice to be able to sort of give back and see the people coming through. It's almost a repetition of selection when he passed selection and he came through. He's almost coming through now in the media world and in the literacy world, and I'm sort of helping him find his feet.
He's on a big rise, which is really impressive. So you've said a couple of things already, which really gets me sort of interested. I watched your Everest Diaries on sort of Channel 4 playback the other day. And you're saying how you took like Nims under your arm. Now, I'm going to put it out there. I think behind your sort of facade, I see somebody that is actually super nurturing, caring, and I get the impression you just want people to be the best versions of themselves. I saw it on the SAS thing. I've seen it on your Everest, and now you're talking about Nims in the same way. Is that a fair reflection on who you are?
Yeah, that's a side I think people don't get to see is the behind the scenes nurturing. I'm a doting father. I love my big family man. I love my wife. I love my children, and I'm a people's person. I actually really like seeing people succeed. It puts a big smile on my face. When I see a success story, it makes me smile. When I see someone that I know doing well, it makes me smile. But it makes me want to help as well. If I can help in that sort of area, in that field, then you know, I go out of my way to jump on board. So yeah, I've got a massive nurturing side. I've got a massive heart, but what I'm very protective of is you know, being taken advantage of, and you know, and sort of people using it for ill intent. So I'm a bit savvy in that way as well, where I can flip between the two. But my primary sort of personality is very nurturing. Yeah.
I mean, and I'd say, I mean, I'm really sorry. I only watched it for the first time the other day. Your Everest, Extreme Everest. I kind of knew how it ended because I was there.
Yeah, you did.
And I thought
with me.
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and it brought back some strong memories of base camp that year. And if the viewers don't know, we both shared a base camp at the same time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. You know, we spent well, hell of a lot of time together, really. And the whole documentary was just meant to be, you know, Everest with Ant Middleton. It's meant to be like a travel log of, you know, through all the way from sort of base camp upwards, but also, you know, the trek to base camp from Lukla to base camp. You know, I've done a big sort of travel log and how the Sherpas and how the porters lived, and that was meant to be like a 3 or 4 episode series. And then obviously what happened sort of in the last week when on the summit rotation, when it just, everything just went against us, no matter how hard we tried to fight through. That made it just a documentary in itself. So I went from, you know, Everest with Ant Middleton to Extreme Everest with Ant Middleton.
I mean, honestly, to Chief, I remember waking up that morning you left base camp, because you left a couple of days before me, and there was a raging storm. And that night there'd been like thunder and lightning, and this is in the tent of base camp. And I was thinking, Jesus. Got up in the morning, and I was expecting you guys to be drinking tea in the mess tent, having come back down, and you didn't. You forged on. And I mean, we all thought that was a little bit ridiculous, but I mean, eventually it paid off for you. Well,
I don't know if it did. It was one of those, Kenton, when, when I went up there during, you know, it was, I get excited with challenge. And I get excited when I get put out of my comfort zone. Now, just climbing Everest, so I was out of my comfort zone. But no, I was in mountain troop in the military. I've climbed, you know, a few mountains. You know, I love the outdoors. I deem myself as a very capable person, but also I know my body, because I pushed my body so far. I know my body. And at the point when we hit that storm, we were at the crampon point. Now, I remember this team turning around. There's quite a few people turning around, but and it does sound ridiculous, but that spurred me on even more. What that done, it reminded me of selection, when you're doing the first 4 weeks of SAS and SBS selection, or Special Forces selection. And on the hill face, you just see people, they look at the peak of the mountain, they turn back round and they quit. Now, and it just boosts you on, because you think, oh, that's one less person on the course, blah, blah. And when they came back down, that's the same sort of buzz that I got. And I thought, let's just commit to it. You know, my body wasn't at its limits yet, and we committed. But when we committed, I remember getting halfway up through the Kumbu Icefall and thinking to ourselves, oh, we better turn back around, because it's getting like ridiculous now. But by the time we got to the point where we said, let's turn around, it was quicker and easier to go up to camp. Yeah, keep going up to camp 1. Yeah. So I sort of committed, got to a level where it's like, right, this is ridiculous now, you know, to the point where
it was hardcore.
The weather, it was just...
Yeah, I mean, it was hardcore. Proper hardcore. I remember waking up that morning and we're going, geez, I hope Dower, Ed, you know, the cameraman Ed, and yourself were all okay. I mean, obviously you were. But it was impressive. And I got to ask you about this, because you're a father of, what, 5 children these days?
Yeah.
I've got 2 young children. And there was something else that you mentioned that is getting harder. I mean, I don't know how you do it with 5. I've got 2 and it's really hard. I mean, are you guys homeschooling?
I'm just a glutton for punishment, mate. I just...
are you guys get my words out. Are you guys homeschooling at the moment?
Yes, we are. That's why I just kicked my daughter out. No, yeah, we are. We're homeschooling.
And how's that going with 5?
One of my sons is last year primary school, and he's already passed his exams to get into the secondary school that we've applied for, so which he's been accepted. So he's just doing 2 lessons a week now, or sort of two half days a week. English and maths, just keeping up on those. My daughter is first year of secondary school, so she is 8:15 to 4:15. She's logging in and doing it. Then I've got a 3-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter who are just absolutely running wild. That's the one.
Have you got them all doing push-ups outside? I bet you have, haven't you? They're all down there.
Listen, I've got to tire them out. Because they are the moment they wake up, they're like that. They're either going shoo, 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 and then when we get them asleep about 7, 7:30, it's then time for the 2 elders.
I've got that feeling.
9:30, 10.
It's like bedtime. You're like, oh, show me the beer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
and then something always comes up.
So you kind of are the modern day Mr. Adventure. How are you coping with lockdown? I mean, what's it? I mean, I'm struggling. What's it like for you? I mean, you're a guy that's out there. You said you got a love for the outdoors. You love this. You love the mountains. That's clear. You love being engaged with people. How are you coping with lockdown?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's a bizarre one because everything that I'm doing goes against everything that I am. So when I mean that as well, you know, I'm a socialite. I love being around people. I love watching people. I'm fascinated with how they think, with how they act. I love being around positive people because positivity just radiates and you can bounce off each other. I love being outdoors. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love being outdoors. So yeah, it was very tough to get my head around. You know, very, very tough to sort of sit back, especially with everything that I've done in my life. You know, I've always tackled everything head on. You know, I've never sat back and done nothing. So every sort of blood cell in my body is telling me to go up and do something about it. But obviously the thing to do about it is to sit back. But I'm also very good at controlling what I can control and letting go of what I can't. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm controlling what I can control. I can control what goes on in these 4 walls. I can control keeping my children happy and keeping them in a routine. I can control the way I think. Not use. A lot of people are stuck in this time, in this, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10 weeks, however it may be. You know, it's very important that this time just isn't dead time. That you're keeping your mind stimulated. You're thinking about how once all these measures sort of drop, how you're going to hit the ground running. So, you know, at the moment I'm thinking about books. I'm thinking about more TV. I'm thinking about more mountains, believe it or not, with Nims and Kenton. We need to talk as well.
We've got to talk about big boy climbing. We've talked about this for nearly 2 years now. Proper big boy climbing.
We have.
So what's it going to be?
Listen, I'll be on your back then, mate. Don't worry about that.
Come on then. You got the big muscles. So what's big boy climbing going to be?
I think we're going to have to look at the Eiger, aren't we?
I think what we should do, here we go. The viewers will hear it here first. Why don't we try and get Nims involved? And we look at the Eiger, that if people don't know, the mountain in Switzerland. I know what you're like. You're not going to be settled on the North Ridge or the South Ridge, are you?
No.
It's arguably the north face of the Eiger, the Eiger wand or the Mort wand, the death wall. That's what you've got up here.
Yeah.
I can tell.
It's one of those where you can tell that. You know me, so listen. And it's bizarre when you get to spend such sort of, without even realizing it, such quality time with someone. Now, like we do on Everest when we're isolated together ultimately, and we're all out to set the same goals. It's amazing how you can sort of get to know someone very quickly like that. But mine would definitely be like it probably was for Everest. It's like, you know, let's bite off more than we can chew, as long as you've got the right people around you. And that's what really settled me on Everest. You know, I had you at my disposal. I had Ed, my cameraman, who was, you know, summited a couple of times. He was a a very capable mountaineer. I had Dower. So, you know, not only was I happy with my own capabilities, but, you know, when you surround yourself with people like that, it just boosts you even more. So Eiger is.
It is incredible how if you surround yourself with positive, engaged, motivated people, then all of a sudden, I'm a firm believer, that team is capable of greatness. And I think we saw that on Everest. There was a group of us there. There was Sid, remember the American guy? There was Sid and Garrett.
Yeah, great guy.
Ben was there. We were all sharing base camp. And I think the positivity, if you could bottle that, we'd all be like gazillionaires right now, because that was a melting pot of inspiration. It was fantastic that year.
Oh, absolutely. 1,000,000%. And, I remember when I came off the summit, and you're the first person that I saw,
or didn't see, the case might be, I can't see.
Oh, yeah. Or didn't see, I'd like that.
Yeah.
But
top tip, if anybody climbs Everest, keep your goggles on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But do you know what happened there with the goggles? Everyone, I had the big Oakley goggles, the reflective ones, the mirror ones. I had those, and I put them on. I think it was in Camp 2 or Camp 3, and I said, "These are the ones I'm going to summit with." And Ed was like, "You can't wear them, man, because it will just reflect off the camera, and it will come back." Yeah. So he I think it was Dower or Ed just said, "Oh, you won't be needing them anyway," and they gave me some crappy old goggles to put on, right? So I remember, obviously on the summit day, it was all clear at the beginning, and then obviously when it all kicked off, it was for me to get off that mountain. Those goggles are just useless. They just froze up because they didn't have the proper seal, etc. And I can just remember thinking, "Wow, the position that I put myself in for TV was bloody absolutely a stupid idea." And I can just remember thinking of these goggles, these crap goggles, thinking they nearly cost me my life.
Well, the issue you get with goggles is because you've got an oxygen mask on, they sit over the oxygen mask, and you get the airflow coming up, which, because it's so cold, it freezes on the inside. I mean, goggles are a big issue on Everest. You've got to get them right.
All types of nightmare. And the guy that was before me coming down the Hillary step, the one that fell and was upside down, when he went to climb down, he wouldn't let go of the ridge, and his Sherpas pulled his goggles up, and his eyelashes were frozen together. He couldn't see. He couldn't even open his eyes, and his Sherpa was digging at his eyes to get the ice off. And then he looked down, and he sort of just let go. No, I was just like that. No, that's when we were stuck up there, and I was just thinking to myself, "Oh my God." So yeah, next time, this is a bit of advice for anyone: ignore the TV. Just take your kit that you're used to, that work, and that works, and
that links back to what you're saying earlier. Control the controllables, and your kit. I mean, you clearly know this from your Special Forces day. You get the kit that works, or I do at least. I get the kit that works, and I stick with it. And the new kit comes in all the time, but new doesn't always mean it's better.
No, 100%. And I was like that in the military. Yeah, like my boots, I'd have, a certain pair of boots that I knew that I could, if I was doing 25, 30K that day, they're the boots that I'd wear. Then I'd have my camp boots, I'd have, my camp kit, and 100%. I'd never go with just buying new boots.
Are they the same ones you had on Everest, the pink ones with the fluffy bits? Are they your camp boots?
Yeah, and no, they're my weekend boots. They're my weekend ones.
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah. I bought them especially for Ben.
Mm. So I've not read.
So yes,
I've not read this, but a client of mine sort of brought this to my attention. I think on one of your books, you're talking about Everest, and you say you got to the balcony. Now, I presume this is on the way down, and you had a deep-seated feeling about jumping off. Is that right?
Yeah, no, that wasn't on the balcony. That was on the Hillary step.
Oh, on the step.
Yeah, that was on the step, because when it was bizarre. It was a bizarre moment, because as that guy fell off, he was literally, as he fell, as you know, he was 5 meters down. He was upside down. So he had the rope where his harness was. He had the rope that was pinning him between his legs because he was upside down, and he couldn't right himself. And he's literally going in and out of consciousness. He's trying to get his oxygen off, and they tried to rescue him about 3 or 4 times with no joy. And I can remember seeing him there after being stuck in one position for a couple of hours, got to wait for the queue and then wait for him to be rescued.
A couple of hours?
As I looked down at him, I saw, 2 hours, stuck there for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. And as I stuck down, it's horrendous. And as I looked down there, I remember looking down, seeing the guy pinned still upside down. And then I looked around as the whiteout subsided every now and then, as it went down and the ridge went around on the Hillary step. 2 other climbers had been blown off the ledge. And one of them was near the Ed. It was the 2 climbers after Ed. So Ed went, and then the wind or the edge collapsed, and two climbers went for. They were upright. They were dangling. One of them was trying to work his way back up to the ridge, and the other one was just there crying. That's all he was doing. He was yelling and crying. And I remember looking at that guy who was upside down, and the two guys that were trying to make their way back up to the ledge. And I remember thinking to myself, Ant, you are not getting off this mountain. You're done. And at that point, when I said that, a sheer sense of panic sort of engulfed me. I remember thinking to myself, Ant, you're dead. You're not getting off the mountain. You're done for. And then it's that moment that I thought to myself, do you know what? Just unclip and jump off. Jump into the abyss. Just jump into the abyss, because you don't want to be frozen up here as a monument where everyone will go past. Oh, look, it's Ant Middleton. Let's grab a selfie.
Well, I was going to say, I can always high five you when I come past on subsequent ascents. Be like, hi, Ant, how you doing? Bring you a beer up.
You imagine every year you come up going, all right, Ant.
All right, Ant, how you doing? No, I mean,
I did actually think that.
The reason why I asked you that, because I often climb like frozen waterfalls with these things. And when I'm super, super comfortable, I'll be hanging there, and I have this, I suppose it's a mental thing about just letting go. Just let go. And I actually, I really have to force my inner psyche not to let go. And that comes from like a comfort level. I'm so comfortable in my environment. I think that's what it is. So I was curious if it was the same thing on Everest, but it sounds like maybe it was more.
No, it's the opposite. But what I am with heights, I'm not scared of heights. And it's bizarre that you say that, Kenton, because I have the same feeling. I'm very comfortable with heights, believe it or not. But when I'm up really high, I have the urge to jump.
It's weird.
I don't want to get away from the edge. I look over and I'm really confident on the edge. And the reason why I step back is because everything inside me is saying jump, jump, jump. And it's not, and it's just because, that's what vertigo is as well. People that are scared of heights are either scared because they're actually trembling because it's like so high, or they have the urge to jump. And every time I get to a certain height, which is quite daunting, everything's telling me to jump. Like you want to let go. Everything's jump.
I don't get it on an edge as such, but it's only ice climbing when I'm super comfortable, and I'll be there with a client on grade 4 or 5 ice, and I just let go. It's some psychological thing. I don't know what it is. It's a bit odd. So listen, apart from the big boy climbing, that obviously you and I, and we try and get that idiot Nims in. The good thing about that is all three of you are smaller than I am. You're vertically challenged, so I could do the hard moves and just leave you scrabbling behind me.
Listen, you're going to have to do the hard moves, mate. You're going to have to do the hard moves.
Other than the big boy climbing we're all going to do together, what do you got on your radar? Because I know a lot of us have a hiccup with lockdown, and some of our plans have been put to one side. I mean, what's on, if you can tell us, what's on the agenda?
Yeah. Do you know what I like doing, Kenton, is and as everyone's seen and everyone's witnessed over the last couple of years, I like versatility in my ventures and in my.
That's a bit of a big word for you, that versatility.
I know.
But you can't spell it, can you?
No. Get my daughter in. Try I'll wait till I see you, Kenton.
Yeah, I can run quite fast. I'm doing a lot of running these days. I think I might be able to outrun you. I definitely can't outfight you. Look at these guns.
There you go, mate.
Oh, no problem.
So yeah, I like to really mix up. I always have a calling to the mountains. I'm always that's why I sort of call. That's my outdoor calling. But I like to do things now. Like you see the mutiny that I've done. I've done 4,000 miles on an open wooden boat, reenacted the mutiny on the Bounty when they got marooned in their boat. So, I love the sea as well. So I think a sea adventure is calling. Something, Christian Slade, what's his name?
Robert Knox Johnson? Try Blythe?
No, it will come to me. It will come to me. It will come to me anyway. No.
You want to
it will come to me.
You should team up with Alex. Alex is the guy with Hugo Boss. The massive. He's done the Vendée and stuff like that. That guy is.
The Vendée's that really interests me.
That boy's an animal. You see the speed, single-handed that he races that boat. It's incredible. I mean,
So something to do with the sea is definitely calling me at the moment.
I find I find it really scary. The power of the sea, I really struggle with. It makes me feel about that big. It's
do you know what, Kenton? It's the same being up there when you're in that zone where, listen, the only person that can rescue you is yourself. It's the same down there. You know, when we've done the mutiny on the Bounty, even though we had a safety ship that was out of ear view, out of eye view, and out of view, so it didn't burst our bubble. We remember being caught in a storm, and they couldn't deploy the safety team because the storm was so raging that they would risk their own safety team, and they couldn't pull the ship alongside because we had a wooden boat. They would have smashed into it, and so we had to ride the storm out.
I don't think it
really reminded me of both ends.
Everything you do, you have a storm involved. Everything. I mean, your storms on Everest. You've got storms on the Bounty.
Mutiny, yeah. But it's one of those where, I think the sea's calling me at the moment. But do you know what really intrigues me? And it might sound a bit bizarre and a bit, out there, but I'm very much like that. Is what's up there? Up. Penetrating the atmosphere and space.
You want to team up with Richard Branson or Elon. Go and speak to Elon Musk. I'd love to get Elon Musk on this. It'd be amazing.
I think it's interesting up there. No, I haven't seen it.
I send you a link. It's a podcast. It's pretty incredible. I'm quite a big Musk fan.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm a very big Musk fan. Up there, mate. Let's see what's up there. Explore up there.
Well, I mean, what's up there? It's infinite, isn't it? It just goes on. I can't even get my head around it. That's like a base camp, nighttime base camp, looking up at a star. Sort of out that one. That's
it is
essential. Blow your mind. So the mutiny, the Bounty mutiny thing that you made reference to. I was looking at some pictures the other day. You all came off that fairly emaciated. What's Ant's fitness regime? I mean, you're a big guy. You're pumped. You're stacked. You come off something like the 4,000-mile mutiny with, I'm assuming, malnutrition to a degree, etc.
Yeah.
How do you get back to full strength, back to full fitness?
Do you know what I do? The key to my recovery is I don't think about things too much. When I came off the mutiny, I lost 4 stone. We were on 350 calories a day. There's the before and after picture. Yeah, I lost 4 stone, just over 4 stone.
Be good for rock climbing.
And exactly, mate. I'll be like
always a positive. Always a positive.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. When I flew home, so I got off the mutiny in the morning, and my wife was due that day, due to give birth to who now is Bly. So I phoned her, and we were meant to do 5 days R&R in Bali, just to see a site, to recover with food and water. And my wife called me. She went, "I'm due today." I was like, "Oh, fucking hell!" I said, "Right, okay." I said, "Look, listen, I'm going to Bali." Excuse the language. I said, "I'm going to Bali for 5 days for R&R." She was like that. Get home now. So I found myself on a flight the next morning. So I got off that morning. The next morning I was on a flight home, and 2 days later my son was born.
So you got home in time?
So I got home in time, but people do say to me, "Ant, how did you recover?" And I honestly didn't have time to think about recovering. I didn't have time to think about any of that, even though I remember the plane journey. The plane journey home was absolutely horrendous. I was flipping out. I was asleep on my seat, and this little boy ran past me, and I sort of woke up and I grabbed this little kid, and I said to him, "What are you doing on my boat?" And he sort of looked at me. He went, "Rah!" He ran off to his down that. So obviously I followed him, and he ran to his mum. I said, "Look, I've really got to apologise." I said, "Just grabbed your son." I said, "I've just explained the situation." She's like, "It's absolutely fine. Thank you for coming to explain." So I was in a bad way, not only psychologically, but physically. But when Bly was born, it was just like a million miles an hour. He was, he's our 5th child. So back to work, back to, press, back to being a dad again. I really can't tell you how I recovered, but what I do, Kenton, and this is what I do. I don't diet. I just eat healthy. Everything that I do is sustainable. I've got to make sure that what I'm doing now, I want to be doing in 10, 20 years time, whether that's the workouts that I do, whether that's the food that I eat or the liquid that I drink. So I really lead a sustainable lifestyle. So when I come to doing Everest, when I come to doing mutiny, I don't really have to change it up too much. I just live, I eat as healthy as I can, not all the time. I don't diet, and I just try and keep it the same as much as I can.
But I think that's what Nims was saying. We had Nims on last week. He was saying being battle ready. And I think what you're describing is the same sort of thing. And I think I'm kind of similar. I try to keep everything at about 80% the whole time. I try to eat healthily in a sustained way. And Jazz, my wife, and I say it's future-proofing ourselves. So it's not
1,000,000%.
Yeah, it's no fads. This is what is best for us as individuals, and what's good for you might not quite work for me, and vice versa. And it's knowing what's best for you, and it clearly works for you. I mean, you're looking as stacked and as big and as motivated as ever.
But it's like that. It is. It's like having that bone. It's like always having that bone ready, and then if you've got an Everest coming up, or if you've got an SAS, then you just add a little bit of meat to it. That's all you do, but you just make sure that base level is a good, correct, healthy one, and then you can just add to it as you wish. And that's what I do with SAS Who Dares Win, for example. I know that I'm going to have athletes on. I know I'm going to have marathon runners. I know I'm going to have Ironmen and women on it. So you've got to think to yourself, right? When I run up that mountain with weight on my back, I've got to make sure that no one catches me. So all I do is I just up my game in that area with weight and so on and so forth. With Everest as well, it was just a case of just putting in the miles. It's not nothing fast, just a slog, just getting the mind prepared for those long days.
And it's interesting. So you talk about your TV show, the SAS thing. Is that ever intimidating? You get all these different people on, and they've got different skill sets, and they've got different problems, because I've only seen a few of the shows, but it looks like a lot of people bring baggage onto that show. So you've got this whole mingle of people and attitudes and skill sets, like I said. Is that intimidating for you and your team at all to have to deal with that?
Yeah, it can. I wouldn't say intimidating, because they've entered our world. They're all volunteers at the end of the day. They can come and go as they please. And they've got a point to prove to us, not us to them. So we've always got that advantage over them. And if they don't want to be there, and if they're showing the wrong attitude, then we just get rid of them. We concentrate and spend and put our time into and our experience into people that want to be there. So, if people aren't screwing it up, or aren't playing the game as such, or are there for the wrong reasons, then yeah, it's not intimidating. We just literally just go, right, listen, we're not going to waste our time and experience on you. And we just get rid of them. So, no, I really enjoy it. And what I enjoy is the aftermath of it, because I know some people really come there because they've really got issues that they don't know how to conquer. They don't know how to manage. And I will apply the pressure in an old school sort of brutal, sort of tough love manner. And I'll just say exactly how it is. Face your demons, or let your demons destroy you. It's one or the other. And a lot of people, they face their demons and come out the other end a better person.
Well, it certainly seems that way. And obviously, we got the mutual friend in the beautiful, lovely Victoria, VP, who was on Everest with me. And now I've not spoken to her about this,
VP.
but
Love VP.
I'm super fond of her. And I've not spoken to her about this, but after Everest, we both know she entered a period of deep personal issues, and I think some psychological issues, perhaps. But then, since your show, she obviously did extremely well on your show, which to me looks incredibly hard. You break people down, you find out the why, which I think is incredible. Yeah. And then VP seems to have burst out the other side, almost a completely different person, and she has just risen to the point that she is now, and it's so good to see. And I wonder how much of that is due to your show, or due to your team.
Speak to her quite a lot, and I speak to quite a lot of the recruits or contestants afterwards. And it's just give them a purpose, and not a purpose what they can just take from the course, but a purpose of who they are, a purpose of, right, I didn't realize I could push myself this far, but I'm capable of a lot more. Or, you know, I knew I had to face that issue or face that demon, and I didn't want to, but it was shoved down my throat, so I was forced to face it. And it's those small little victories. This course isn't going to change your life. That's down to you as an individual to change your life. But what my course does, it can change you as an individual. It can make you a better person by being honest with yourself. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short, is that they're not honest with themselves. They know they've got the demons, they know they've got issues, but they're not willing to face them, and they're not willing to be honest that they have them. And the moment that I identify that and I shove it down your throat, you're either going to break and then you're going to realize you've got them, or you're going to acknowledge that you've got them there and then, and deal with them. So either way, you know, the course is really designed to make you a better person.
Well, listen, buddy, at some stage we got to bring this conversation home. And I think what you've just said there about being honest with yourself is a fantastic point to sort of perhaps round this up, because those are very powerful words. Be honest with yourself. Give your thoughts a voice. And I mean, we all have our inner demons. I mean, I know
Absolutely.
I do. And when you are honest with yourself, then all of a sudden you start to push that out and radiate. And there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with being who you are. And I think those, almost more than anything else you said today, Ant, I think those are very powerful words. So, yeah, I've got to...
But when you're honest with yourself as well, Kenton, when you're honest with a situation, when you're honest with a person, when you're honest with yourself, the problem is right there in front of you. You know, if you're honest with it, it's there. And when you're honest, you can acknowledge it. And when you acknowledge it, then you can put the steps that you need to proceed, or you need to break it down in place. Yeah. So when you're honest with yourself, the problem's there, right? Honest, I can take ownership of that, execute what needs to be done, and move on. But honesty is the hardest tool to use. You know, you open up that toolbox, and honesty is there. But you know, it's the most useful tool to use, but it's the hardest to use. So therefore, we put it back a lot of the time, when all you have to do is pick it up, be honest with yourself. Boom, the problem or the issue is there. You take ownership of it, and you start breaking it down.
Well, I think in our current environment, and with lockdown and all the uncertainties and everything going around us, I think you've probably muttered the most influential and important words I've heard in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So, Ant, mate, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Kenton.
The honesty, the toolbox, I'm going to take that home with me today, and I'm going to start to implement that myself. So, buddy, listen, thank you so much. I can't wait to share a beer with you the other side, or perhaps when we come down from the Eiger together with Nims, and I'll take you to my favourite bar in Grindelwald in Switzerland, and we'll sit there and we'll look at the north face of the Eiger together, and we'll chink that beer. And I salute you, sir. Thank you so much.
Kenton, and just a final word for you, and which you wouldn't know because I've never told you this, but you are a great influence and a great person to look to whilst I was on Everest, and you filled me with so much confidence without even knowing it, just by observing what you do up there and how you act. And I've always wanted to tell you that over a beer, but I thought it was time to tell you now. And when I first saw you, when I came down, when I didn't see you from the summit to Camp 4, it was like seeing a loved one and a family member, and I could see that you were really caring and really worried about me, and that really put my mind at ease, and honestly, it helped me get down the mountain. So thank you.
Well, that's what buddies are there for, man.
Always. Thanks, Kenton.
Cheers, big guy.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah,
bye.
See you soon. Be strong. Wow, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that was something special. So a big thank you for Ant for coming on the show. And there was a number of class gems in there. For me, when he was talking about being honest with yourself, being the honest version of yourself, wow, that's such a powerful thing, to give your thoughts a voice. That's definitely something I'll be taking away with myself after this. So from me, I just want to say thank you for everybody tuning in, no matter where you are in the world. A big thank you once again for the Barn Theatre. That's what we're doing it for. At the end of the show, please, if you are inclined, hit the donate button. We're trying to keep the Barn Theatre open together. So, one last thing, we're in it together. Let's get it done together. And I'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully without Ewan again. Be cool. Whoa, whoopsie diddly didos. And today you got a tight white t-shirt. Yeah. Wow, put them away, man. Look at this little gun there in comparison. Might be multiple beers.
Yeah, it will be,
hang on,
mate.
big guys here. Hair fewer. He bites his fingernails.
Only just, mate.
He bites
Only
his
just.
fingernails. I found the weakness.